The room went silent the moment the lawyer finished reading the will. Not confused silence, not the kind where people whisper to each other trying to understand what they heard. This was the kind of silence that makes people freeze, because the name the lawyer had just said was the one no one in that family expected: Mateo. For years, that name had been the family's favorite joke, the child they rolled their eyes at, the one they said never quite fit in, the one they quietly whispered about when he left the room. But what nobody in that room realized yet was that the man who wrote that will had been carrying a secret for years, a secret that was about to rewrite the entire story of their family. Welcome to Fearless Stories, where money meets humanity. The lawyer folded the document slowly. Across the table, 3 siblings sat stiff in their chairs. Everyone already knew how this meeting was supposed to go. The house, the investments, the savings. Everything would be divided equally. That's how families like theirs usually worked. His older brother was a surgeon. His sister was a corporate attorney. They were the successful ones, the ones their father used to brag about at dinner parties. Mateo was different. He lived quietly, worked a simple job, never competed for attention, never chased status. But what nobody in that room realized yet was that their father had been watching everything much more closely than they thought. The lawyer cleared his throat. There's also a statement your father asked me to read. The siblings exchanged confused looks, because wills normally divide money. They don't explain family history, and this is where things started getting strange. Their mother had passed away years earlier. After that, the house had grown quieter, and their father had slowly grown older alone. Over time, rumors had begun circulating inside the extended family. People whispered that Mateo looked different eyes, different features. Some began suggesting something cruel, that maybe Mateo wasn't really his father's child. At first, those whispers stayed in the background, but slowly they became something worse. They became assumptions, and those assumptions changed the way people treated Mateo. But the truth Mateo was about to hear was something no one in that room had ever imagined. The lawyer unfolded the final page of the will. His voice slowed. "As written by your father," and then he began reading.
If you are hearing this, it means I am no longer there to say these things myself. For years, I watched something happen inside this family that I should have stopped. I watched one of my children slowly become invisible.
Across the table, Mateo didn't move, but his brother shifted in his chair, because everyone in that room knew who the will was talking about.
For many years, people whispered something about Mateo, that he did not belong, that perhaps he was not truly my son. The truth is, for a long time, I allowed myself to wonder the same thing.
The room shifted, because no one expected that confession. But the next line changed everything.
Years ago, without telling anyone, I took a DNA test, and the results were clear. Mateo is my only biological child.
No one spoke. Not the brother, not the sister, not even Mateo. Because suddenly, every memory in that family started rearranging itself. But the truth didn't end there, because the greatest mistake their father admitted next had nothing to do with biology. The lawyer continued reading.
My greatest regret, not the doubt I once felt. My greatest regret is what I allowed to happen after. By the time I knew the truth, the damage had already been done. You had already been treated differently. You had already been made to feel like the outsider, and I was too ashamed to admit how wrong I had been.
Mateo stared quietly at the table, because suddenly the room felt very small.
During the last years of my life, something became very clear to me. When I became sick, everyone had reasons they could not be there. Work, meetings, travel. I understood those things. But there was one person who never seemed too busy.
The lawyer paused before reading the next line.
Mateo was the one who sat beside my hospital bed when the room was quiet. He helped me stand when my legs stopped working. He brought me meals when I could barely eat. He handed me my medicine when my hands began to shake. And he was the only one who never once looked at the clock while he was there.
And that is when their father explained the inheritance.
That is why everything I leave behind now belongs to Mateo, not as punishment to anyone else, and not as revenge, but because the person who values time values life. And the person who shows up when no one is watching is the person I trust with what I leave behind.
Then the final part of the will.
To my other children, I hope one day you understand that success is not the same as presence. A career can fill a calendar, but it cannot replace the moments we lose with the people we love. I do not leave you money, but I leave you the chance to choose differently.
Then one final message.
And Mateo, you spent years believing you were the child who didn't belong. But the truth is, you were the one who understood this family better than anyone. You never chased approval. You simply showed up. Take what I leave you and build a life that brings you peace. That will be the greatest gift you could give your father.
The lawyer closed the document, and for a moment, no one in that room knew what to say. Sometimes families measure worth in the wrong ways. The promotion, the house, the career that impresses people. But life measures something much simpler. Who shows up? Who stays? Who chooses people over status? Maybe you've been the one in your family people underestimated. The quiet one. The one they assumed didn't matter. But sometimes, the people who see the most clearly are the ones no one was paying attention to. And sometimes the strength people overlook today becomes a legacy everyone understands tomorrow. Because fear is not your legacy. Freedom is. Before you go, let me ask you something real. Do you believe the father made the right decision? Drop it in the comments. You never know who might read it and realize they're not alone. Subscribe to Fearless Finance, and I'll see you in the next episode.